Da-da-da, da-da-da,
You're watching Cover 2 with your host, Katie Baird.
Welcome to this week's episode of Cover 2, where we cover you and your fantasy league. That's right. I'm back! Big ups to Crystal holding it down for the past 2 weeks, but, money's back in town, baby. So, congratulations to all of you guys, too, because with the closing of Week 7, we are now halfway through the regular season. So, let's get started with this week's lame game of the week. The game that was the most anticipated turned out to be the lamest this week. The Icy Ninjas beat Janelle's Jets 82-70. Is 82 points low enough to qualify as lame game? In this case, you betcha. Peyton Manning scored 27 for the Ninjas, but 6 of their players all scored 6 or less. Janelle got zeros from Leon Washington, who was injured early, as well as the Bears DST. Janelle's bench, however, outscored both teams. With one player on a bye, their 6 bench players totaled a staggering 97 points. This game was definitely lost on some bad lineup decisions. That's rough. Now let's move on to this week's highlighted score. The Orlanders recorded their highest score this week, defeating the Zambonis 135-120 and breaking their 4-game losing streak. This game was won on a last-minute addition of Miles Austin, who led the Orlanders with 29 points. For the Zambonis, 120 is the highest score for any losing team this season. Well, that sounds a little biased. I wonder who writes this script. However, the Zambonis remain winless at home with a 0-4 record. Now let's move on to other scores for this past week. In this week's other featured matchup between father and son, Penguins ruled over the unstoppable Pats 101-92. A pair of zeros from wide receiver Hines Ward and Chris Chambers did in the Pats. Both teams moved to 4-3 for the season. Get Your Popcorn Ready came away with a convincing win over the Lucid Bogies, 128-74. This is Popcorn's second score of 128 in a row, and the win gives them a 6-game winning streak. Tony Romo led Popcorn with 33 points. Tight end Vernon Davis scored a great 27 points for the Bogies, but they never had a chance. The battle of 1 and 5 teams easily could have been the lame game of the week. However, it turned out to be anything but. Both teams scored over 100 points in this battle, and it was the tightest match of the week. Tension Echoes held a 4-point lead going into Monday night, with each team having 1 player remaining. After Brian Westbrook was injured early for Tension Echoes, the Screaming Eagles thought they had this game won. However, not too long after Westbrook went down, Chris Cooley was injured. With both players out for the remainder of the game, Tension Echoes held on for a 108-105 victory. As Crystal so eloquently pointed, this was Tension Echoes' highest score of the season. Now it's time for Kickoff Corner, where we review this week's upcoming matches. This week's marquee matchup pits the first place Get Your Popcorn Ready against third place Janelle's Jets. We also have second place Icy Ninjas versus fifth place Penguins Rule. Now it's time for Message Board Post of the Week. There are 2 posts worth mentioning this week. The first came from our favorite Nathan Hanko, owner of the Screaming Eagles. It is titled, views from the bottom. It's all gone wrong. This year I said, this is my year for greatness. I haven't drafted any retired players. I know what a bye week is, and I have a plan. What I didn't realize was that I had just broken a mirror, walked under a ladder, had my path crossed by 13 black cats, and that this combination made me the lucky rabbit foot of the league. You all need me. Without me, you all, well, except for the Orlanders, would have one less win. You ingrates. I should have presents flowing in, offers to do my laundry, and write my papers. I want justice. On behalf of everyone here at Cover 2, can I just say, we missed you. Nate, we missed you. Thank you. The second post comes from Penguins Rural owner Stephen Gagnon and is titled, A Plea. Someone put a hit on Miss Redenbacher. And I don't mean hit on her, I mean take her out. Put a contract on her, hit her. It is amazing to me that a team with the 7th highest point total is 6-1 at this point. My only hope is that the law of averages will catch up with the likes of Miss R. And in the end, her team will be what they are. Average. Now it's time for everyone's favorite owner's spotlight of the week. Yeah, I got nothing for you. Sorry. You know what? I know. It's your favorite. Everyone loves it. You know, oh, we get to see the owners. But, you know, I was sick for 2 weeks. It's, you know, the Phillies are in the World Series. I just started a new job. You know, I can't be perfect all the time. I'm sorry. I promise you we'll have it next week. We will. And I would like to thank those 3 voters who voted me best personality over Crystal and that dumb British girl. And to you 2 voters who picked the dumb British girl over me. Really? British? That's just unpatriotic. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Cover 2, where we cover you and your fantasy league. See you next time, and until then, happy Halloween and go Phillies!